Shoots and Scores Hockey Talk, where we talk everything hockey. I am John.
I'm Mike.
And as you can all tell, there's no Chris tonight because, why, Mike? We're talking about the Washington Capitals, and Chris knows it. And he bailed on us, didn't he?
Well, they caught up to Carolina. He's going to try to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, for those that don't know, for anyone that watches and doesn't know, the questions I give to Mike and Chris beforehand, now the hockey profit questions, they do not see. So I like to surprise him with those. So Chris knew that he was getting Washington question, and just so happens he had to bail on us tonight. That's all right. We'll get him back next week probably. So Mike, let's go on to our first topic for this evening, and that is, don't look now, but the Tampa Bay Lightning have vaulted into first place in the Atlantic Division, or at least they were when I wrote these questions a couple days ago. They had won 7 in a row, dating back to November the 18th. Are the Lightning the team to beat in the Atlantic Division, Mike? What do you think?
Well, they've, and I mean, I know we talked about this, I don't know if it was 2 or 3 weeks ago when they
About
were
a month ago.
pretty much in last place. And
Yep.
We were talking and we were like, you know what, everything's going to balance itself out at some point. And sure enough, pretty much right after that, they went on a huge winning streak. So as far as the Atlantic Division, yeah, I think right now they are the team to beat. Toronto won the last 2 games that they played, so
They've won 2 in a row. That's right.
yeah. So
but they're
I mean,
they're only 4-4-2 in their last 10. So
yeah. So I mean, Toronto's won a couple, but they're still a little bit behind Tampa. Florida has been really inconsistent. They have a couple really good games and then a couple really bad games, which is why they're right around the 500 mark right now. So, and those are the 2 teams that I thought would be in the top 3. So now that Tampa has stepped up pretty good there, it's hard to say why they wouldn't be the favorite at this point.
right.
So Vasilevsky's played really well.
He looks good now, doesn't he?
Even the backup Johansson's looked good in the games that he's played. So, and the surprising thing is they're doing this with Hedman's hurt, Point's hurt. These are the 2 of their best guys. I mean, Point hasn't had a great season so far, but who knows? Maybe this injury has been bothering him, and he's played through it for a little bit. But Hedman, he's been out, so so they got some of their depth guys have stepped up. Darren Radish has played very well the last 10 games or so since Hedman's been out. So so I have to say Tampa's probably the favorite at this point. And they've always been a strong team, so I wasn't expecting them to not be top 3. But with the struggles with Florida and Toronto, I think this almost says that they're going to be the number 1 team in the Atlantic.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's kind of what I figured too. And I was going to put conference, but I thought I would leave that for maybe another question some other evening. And I thought that Chris probably would have something to say about that for the conference. So you just never know. All right. Well, let's go on to our second topic, and that is Wyatt Johnston and the Dallas Stars. Now, they're really on a roll now. When I made up these questions a couple days ago, they were 11-2-2 in the month of November. So, I mean, that's really kicking butt. Now, they whipped Ottawa 6-1 on Sunday, and the Oilers 8-3 on November the 25th. They won another game in between that. I think it was against, I forget who it was against, but I know they won 4-3. And Johnston was named one of the 3 stars of the week. Now, Wyatt had 9 points in 4 games. That's cooking. And we know he's a good player, Mike. He's only 22 years old. Did he just take the next big step?
I always thought Wyatt Johnston was the player that he's pretty much shown this year. Has he played a little over his head? I think maybe a little bit. But he's a really good player. And when you put him on a line with Rantanen and Robertson, two elite wingers, how can you not get points? Like, it's give the puck to one of these guys. Jason Robertson's really tore it up too the last
He has, yeah.
handful of games there too, and Rantanen's played really well. Aside from the game that he missed for suspension. So this top line, it's super strong, super strong. So Wyatt Johnston has been a great fit there. Surprisingly, he's taken Rupe Hintz's spot, so they've got Hintz on the second line now. Yeah, so I think he's looked really good the last couple of years, and yeah, I would say he's probably taken the next step. But as part of that, I do believe is attributed to playing with Robertson and Rantanen.
Right, right. Do you think he could get 90 points this year?
If he's playing with those two guys, sure. I think all three of them will get over 90 points.
Huh?
Rantanen and Robertson could easily get over 100. So wouldn't be surprised. I mean, that's barring injuries. So I mean,
Right.
I think there's a pretty good chance of that happening.
Now, injury is what I know you're going to go into here with our part B of this question. Now, I had written a couple of nights ago, is Dallas going to be more consistent team going forward, because they were sort of inconsistent in the first quarter of the year. They'd win a few, they seemed to lose a few. They've been getting much better lately, obviously. Player against player, is Dallas better or worse than Colorado? I was just kind of curious which team you thought was better, and you're going to give us some injury news here, and then maybe we'll go on with this.
Personally, I think they're pretty comparable. Each team has their top line running on all cylinders. The second line for both of these teams, I mean, with Colorado, Landeskog really struggled the first little over a month, and
Yeah, he did not play well.
so he's picked it up. Brock Nelson has picked it up. So they're supposed to get Nikushkin back from injury, I believe. If they're playing tonight, it's tonight. If not, it's tomorrow. I know they said next game he's going to play, so or forecasted to play. So as far as overall balance, and then like with Dallas, Jamie Benn has just gotten back there 6 games ago, something like that, from missing the whole first month and a half of the season. But the problem now with Dallas is Tyler Seguin is now out for the season. So, and he was having a pretty good year.
He was. Yeah.
So with him out, they're going to need to have some of these guys that are a little bit lower in the depth chart are going to have to step up and get some points for them, because they can't just rely on that top line. Second line is pretty decent with Rupe Hintz as centering that line. The defense has been good. Thomas Harley's been hurt though too, so another one of their top defensemen. So Dallas got a couple of injuries, and Colorado's injured players are coming back. So it's tough for me to say between these two teams. I think they're both equally balanced, and the goaltending definitely got to give the on paper edge, I would say, is to Dallas, because Jake Ottinger, if the NHL, if anybody that watches the NHL had to pick a goalie between Ottinger or Wedgwood or Blackwood, you're going to pick Ottinger all day. So
yes.
And on top of that, Scott Wedgwood got hurt last night, so there hasn't been any real update on how long he's going to miss or anything like that. So looks like the crease is going to belong to Mackenzie Blackwood now, and he just got back from injury not long ago himself. So he was able to do it last year. I mean, the team's been playing really well, so I don't see him faltering unless he gets hurt again. So, which he's known for year after year, to come up with these injuries. So
these
back
nice,
from when he
interesting
was
injuries.
New Jersey, San Jose, like he's always hurt. So I'd got to go with Dallas as the edge in net. As far as when you're looking at the depth of the rest of the team, I think they're both teams are pretty well balanced. It's going to be interesting to see these two teams play against each other, to see if it's actually a high scoring game or a low scoring game, because both teams have deadly offense, and both teams have really good goaltending so far. So it's going to be interesting. And I'm not quite sure when they meet up again on the schedule, but
I
be
actually
definitely,
meant to look at that and I forgot to do it, so it'd be
yeah.
interesting to find out.
It'll be a game to watch. The two superpowers are going against each other.
Yeah, maybe it's on a Saturday night. We can see it some night. You never know. Huh? Maybe we can
Yeah.
watch it. All right. Well, let's go into our third topic. Now, this question I know, Mike, is a little bit long, so I'm just going to ramble on here a little bit, but I really thought it was worth bringing up, so I'm going to mention it here. Elliot Friedman, we all know who he is. He corrected a previous report during his latest episode of his 32 Thoughts podcast when he said he was told the Edmonton Oilers aren't making a lateral move. Now, Friedman then says some people told him it wouldn't surprise him if Edmonton doesn't address the goalie situation this year. And it also went on to say, I know I didn't write it down here, but it also went on to say that some other GMs of some other teams were like, yeah, I don't think so. They didn't buy it. And the reason why I bring this up is because I was, when I read this, I was like, really? I mean, I don't believe this either. You trying to tell me if a situation came up where Edmonton could get a good goalie or a decent goalie that they wouldn't take it? I mean, what do you think, Mike? Is this just all a lot of hoopla or what?
Well, I
And
think
I
that
know there's not much. I know there's not much out there, so I'll start with that. Yeah.
right. Problem is that what is potentially available doesn't really fit the Oilers' cap structure, for one, and two, it pretty much is a lateral move at best.
Yeah.
So, I mean, for these guys that could be available, it's Tristan Jarry. Uh, he's having a decent season so far, but how much better is he than Skinner? I would I would say either he's
Zero.
not or they're equal. So that would be a lateral move. The only move that I think would, you know, not be a lateral move would be as if Nashville decided to trade UC Saros. However, Nashville doesn't have anything behind UC Saros to take over, and his
Right.
contract is through the roof. So not a fit. And this is the main thing with the Oilers is who's a fit with that team. I mean, Bennington as well. I mean, there's been talk about Bennington for the last over a year now,
Yeah,
but
that's right.
once again, he's not having a great year either. So how much better is he than Skinner? So excuse me. So I don't really know. I think they have to make a move now. If Vancouver decided to move Demko at some point, who knows? But Demko's health is always a concern. So I know
Do
the
you really
Oilers.
think Vancouver would move Demko? Do you really think that they would give up on him?
Well, it depends on what the return would be for one. I mean, they paid Kevin Lankinen some decent money this offseason to be the, you know, 1A or 1B out of that goaltending duo this year. So they must have had some reservation about Demko's injury status. So I don't
Okay,
know.
fair
I don't
enough.
know if they'll move Demko, to be honest with you. But I mean, if the Oilers threw an offer out there that they couldn't refuse, who it's possible. But yeah, right now, and I would have said maybe Minnesota would trade
Well,
one of
yeah,
their
before.
goalies. However,
Yes.
um, the way Minnesota's goaltenders have played, and if they were to move one, they would probably have to move Gustafson because, yeah, how do you move Wallstedt right now, to be honest? And if you were to move Wallstedt, which I don't think they'll do, which I don't think is a smart move, if they did, they're going to ask for a ton because he's on the hot streak of hot streaks. So,
Right. Yes.
and I mean
Edmonton can never afford
Gustafson's,
that. Jeez.
yeah, and Gustafson's been really good for them as well. So I think if Minnesota thinks that they can, make a good playoff run, I think they want to have both of those guys
Right.
because they don't have a third goalie that would be capable if one of those two got hurt. So I in the off season maybe Minnesota might move Gustafson, but I don't see that happening during the season. Not at this point with the team playing so well. I don't think they'd want to disrupt that. So yeah, as far as the Oilers status goes, I think they make a move at some point, but right now I don't think it's as high on the priority list as everybody makes it out to be.
Right,
So,
right. Well, I just thought it was an interesting, comment that he had made, and he corrected himself. And I saw some other GMs had said this and said that, and I'm like, yeah, yeah, of course, if the right move came, there's no way they wouldn't do it. There's just not really the right move to make right now. That's the problem, but whatever. And they have no cap room or very little anyway. So,
right,
oh, all
and,
right.
and
Well,
the,
let's go on. Oh no, go ahead,
sorry,
Mike. Go ahead.
and the goalies that would potentially be available still have term left on their contracts, whereas this is Skinner's last year of his contract. So there will be more flexibility in the off season, but the guys that they could potentially bring in would be like I said, they're pretty much lateral moves, and that's Jari and Bennington, and they still have a year or two left on their deals. So I mean, it's Edmonton's cap situation. It's unless they're moving a contract out to make this happen, and I know that there's been talk that Skinner, if they were to trade Skinner, he'd probably be going. He'd be traded with Brett Kulak, who is one of their defensemen that makes 2.5 million or whatever it is to be able to bring a contract back in. So
Right. Well, good luck to them. I would still take Bennington. I think that Bennington needs a change of scenery. That's what I think.
I think he does too. And I mean, St. Louis is they're not playing very well. So their top
No,
guys are not their top guys right now, not like they were last year. So
no, they don't look like the same team at all, and they're nowhere near the team that won the Stanley Cup in what was it, 2019?
right.
So they're nowhere near that team. So but anyway, I would take Bennington if I had the shot of it, if I had the choice. But like you said, St. Louis has to want to do that as well. So,
Hmm.
oh well. All right. Well, let's go on to our fourth topic, and that is, of course, like I said in the beginning, the Washington Capitals. Now, Mike, I don't know if you knew this or not. Well, you do now, but they were 6-5 in October. That's not very good. But in November, they were 9-4-2, much better. The Caps went from scoring 2.55 goals in October to an even 4 goals a game in November, a massive increase. Are the Capitals back, Mike? I would have loved to have asked this question to Chris, but
Well, I mean, that's one of the things that me and Chris kind of differ on a little bit. Is I actually think the Capitals are pretty good. And Chris goes on about the analytics, how they can't keep this up and this sort of thing, but they're keeping it up right now. So I mean, the goaltending has been really good. Logan Thompson, aside from up until Wallstedt went on his hot streak, Logan Thompson had the best goals against average in the league, like easily.
right. Yep.
Um, he's played well. With that being
And
said, the backup goalie Lindgren has been not good at all. So they've leaned on Thompson a lot more, and the offense has just kind of come alive. Like Connor McMichael in October, absolutely terrible. And now in November, he's played. Well, November's done now too, but he played really, really well the last 3 weeks of November. So he picked his game up. Ovechkin's picked his game up because he struggled in October.
he
So
looks
I don't know.
much better now.
Yeah. So I mean, they got off to a slow start, and with the slow start, I mean, the record could have been a lot worse if it wasn't for Logan Thompson playing so well. Um, Jacob Chikrin, does he score a goal a game now or what? Like he scores so many goals. Like in the last, I don't know, 3 weeks, he's got like 6 goals, something like that. Like I think he's got 10 or 11 on the season. I'm certain he leads the defenseman in goal scoring, and if he doesn't, he's right behind Cale Makar. So. Um, Yeah, I like the Capitals, to be honest. I really don't care much for Lindgren as the backup goalie, but as far as are they going to be able to keep this up, 4 goals a game? No, that's a little bit high. So That'll come back down to earth a little bit. However, they caught up to Carolina and they beat them a few
They
couple weeks back too. So,
That's right, they did, yes.
and
And
Washington also, and I texted you about this earlier, is they have the second most regulation wins out of any team in the league, and only Colorado has more. Colorado has 18 and Washington has 15. So 15 of their 16 wins for the
regulation,
Capitals are in regulation time. So,
something that Chris pays attention to quite
oh, he
highly.
definitely does. He doesn't like that overtime loss point because it
No,
inflates the point totals for the team. And I totally agree with that. Like, I'm not a fan of it myself, but um, unfortunately, there's nothing we can do to change it.
I really wish that a regulation win would give a team 3 points. I've said that for years. I wish it would, but obviously, I don't think the NHL is going to go and change anything anytime soon.
Yeah, I don't see it either. And I mean, just because,
They love the parity.
well, there's that, and the NHL is one of those sports where they try to stick to the traditional stuff as opposed to making any real radical changes. I mean, when you look at the NHL, as far as some of the big changes they've made, other than the reviews and stuff like that. But what was the last? They eliminated the icing rule changed, and
Yep. It
the
took a
two
while to do that, didn't it?
yeah, and the two-line pass. So other than those two changes of the game, it's more or less just enforcing penalties a little bit more strict. I suppose the puck over the glass penalty is now, that's a fairly newer rule, I guess. It's not new, but it's one of their latest. Um, so yeah, the NHL is more of a kind of stay with the traditional thing, and plus all these, like the parity, like you said, it's keeping all these teams in the playoff race, which should sell more tickets if every team has a chance to make the playoffs. The fans are
That's
still going to
right.
come out. So
That's right. You got to
as
pay for those
opposed
big
to,
salaries. So
well, that's it. I mean, the more fans out, the more merchandise they sell, the more concessions they sell. So the revenue is there with it. So I don't see them changing it.
and just to give Chris some credit here, um, he is a big fan of the goaltender Thompson. He likes him. Just so that everybody knows, he likes Washington's goaltender. He
Yeah,
doesn't like Washington, but he likes the goalie.
yeah,
So, all right. Okay, Mike. Well, let's go on to our hockey pool, our hockey profit segment. Man, I keep on saying that pool. Every once in a while, that slips out. I don't know why, but anyway. So, Mike, now I have these questions rated Chris, Mike, Chris, Mike. Now you're going to get them all. So, Mike, are you ready for the hockey profit segment?
yep. Ready to go.
Okay, number one. I have seen Cadre to Montreal, Cadre to the Panthers, Cadre to Boston. Mike, any thoughts? Is Cadre going to any of these teams?
If he goes to one of these teams, I would say it's Montreal. But I think on another note, maybe Ryan O'Reilly is the guy that gets moved before Kadri.
Ah,
Who knows?
okay. All right, fair enough. Number two, the Avalanche are on pace for the most points ever in the NHL. They're on pace right now for 138 points, Mike. That would pass the Bruins of the 22-23 season. They had 135. Will the Avs do this, Mike? Are they going to get more than 135 points this year?
Man, I can't see it. I mean, there's too many good teams for that to happen, and even some of the teams that we thought that weren't going to be good, like San Jose and Chicago, they've played pretty good.
They
So,
played much better than I was expecting.
well, that's exactly it. Anaheim as well. So, you know, there's no easy points to be had unless you're playing, Calgary and Nashville and maybe Buffalo and Columbus. Like, aside from those teams, I don't think that there's any easy points. I mean, even the Flyers have played good, to my
They have.
surprise. So
They have. They played
they're in
much
a
better than I
playoff
was
spot.
expecting.
Never would have thought. Never would have thought December 1st or 2nd that Philadelphia would be in a playoff spot. So
Well, there you go. All right. Well, number three, I was reading some rumors from a Sportsnet article. Here we go with Sportsnet once again, written by Michelle or Mikhail Amato, which suggests that Steven Stamkos is going back to Tampa. Mike, is this guy crazy or what?
I don't see how they get that contract in there on that team, to be honest with you. I mean, that's part of the reason why they let him leave is they couldn't afford that contract. So unless Nashville's willing to eat a lot of this contract, I can't see it. But with that being said, I think Stamkos would be much better in Tampa than pretty much anywhere else. I mean, it's Nashville experiment is not going well whatsoever. So, I mean,
No.
he has played a little better the last few games, but I don't know. I think it's just this leaving Tampa thing has probably affected him more than, you know, than what we might know.
Right, right. And I thought that was an interesting article. Did you see that article by chance?
I did not know, but
Yeah.
I mean, there's been talk of Stamkos getting moved, but in order to do that, they're gonna have to pick up some of this contract because there's no
Oh,
way that
yeah. It's way too much.
you know.
Yeah. Okay, Mike, number four, Adam Fox is on LTIR and will miss at least 10 games. Are the Rangers in the same spot that the Jets are in with Hellebuck out? He's very important to them.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think if they're worse off or better off because they're both not in a good spot. Um, and each of those injuries are really affecting where those teams are going to end up. I mean, Winnipeg, have they won a game since Hellebuck's been hurt?
They were 2-5, which I go into here in a few seconds.
Yeah. So I think losing the goalie probably hurts a little bit more than losing the defenseman, but I mean they're both like the key players on those teams. I mean,
Yeah,
the Rangers. I mean, if you lost Panarin, it'd be almost the same as losing Fox because those are the two that kind of stir the drink there. I think.
well, they're really the ones that make things go. I mean,
Yeah.
there's no doubt about it.
And with JT Miller struggling since this year, I mean, Shesterkin's played all right, but the team has just been wildly inconsistent, especially at home. Like, yeah, I think they've played a little bit better the last few games at home, but the October, I don't even know if they won a game at home. So, but yeah, Winnipeg, they're gonna have to tough it out here, I think, with Comrie because, like we were saying, there's no goalie worth picking up for them. I mean, what are they going to do when Hellebuck gets back? They
Right, they're
can't just go
screwed.
and trade away another goalie. I don't think
Right.
so. They're going to have to tough it out with Comrie and hope for the best.
Basically, both these teams need those guys, and they're both screwed without them.
Well, they're both of those teams are in trouble right now. I think
Yeah.
so.
All right. Number five, will Morgan Geeky get 45 goals this year? Because right now, Mike, he's on pace for 60.
Yeah, who'd have thought? Who'd have
So I
thought?
dropped it. I was going to say 50 and I dropped it down to 45 because I thought that
Yeah.
would be more reasonable.
Hey, you know what? He's scoring at will. I think his shooting percentage is like 20% too. So it's really
What?
high.
I didn't
Like
see
he's
that.
got a really high shooting percentage. So Um, and I don't know if it's 20% exactly, but it's around that because I had looked at it a few days ago. I don't know if it's changed or not, but number two scorer in the league right now just
Yep.
doesn't seem to miss. So 45 definitely doable. Uh, I wouldn't be surprised. If you told me 2 years ago,
You would have
last
said
year
no way.
last year he played pretty good. So if you had told me 2 years ago that he'd be on pace for 60 goals, I'd be like, after what, 2 games or 3 games? Um, but I didn't see this coming out of Geeky. I mean, he's gone through a couple teams in the league, and he wasn't putting up anywhere as close to numbers like he has with Boston. So
There's
I don't know.
something about Boston. Some of these players, they just go there and they just seem to do better.
Well, that's the
We've
thing,
seen
and I
it in the
know
past. We've talked about it before
we have. I know
years
we
ago.
talked about Pavel Zacha when he went to Boston because he was terrible with New Jersey. He went to
Yeah.
Boston and then he was, getting like 60 something points or whatever it was. Um, who was the other one? Charlie Coyle. When he went to Boston, he played well there, but he's hasn't been very good anywhere else. So, you know, I don't know. Could be the team culture, but Boston's starting to slip a little bit though now. So we'll
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
we'll see what I think they dropped to what third place in the division.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they dropped to third.
I
They were first for a little while. The Tampa took that spot, and I think it's Montreal that's second, maybe. But
not sure.
yeah,
Not sure.
I know
Actually,
the points are so close that it's one team one day, another team the next day. So
and that's why I preface all these questions with when I did these questions, this is the way it was. Now it's probably different, but
right, yeah,
So, all right. Well, let's go on to our final question for you, Mike. And I'm sorry it's not a Flyers question. I usually try to give you the Flyers question at the end, but I really wanted to squeeze this in. Winnipeg has 10 goals in their last 5 games. They've scored 10 goals in 5 games. That's not good. They're 2-5 without Hellebuck and 4 wins and 9 losses in their last 13 games. So they weren't playing well even with Hellebuck. 4 wins out of 13 games. Is the second line mostly to blame for all this, Mike? That is the prognosis of our old buddy Craig Button. He blames a lot of this on the second line.
yeah.
Is our old buddy? Are we going to give him credit for once in for this one time, or are we going to rag him out and
Well,
throw stuff at him?
I don't think he's wrong. I mean, the first line has done most of the scoring all year,
They have. They've
and
done well.
when you get into these stretches where the first line is struggling, then nobody's scoring. So this is where you need the second line to step up. And I know they just got Cole Perfetti back there not too long ago, so I haven't really watched a lot of Winnipeg games, to be honest with you. But the second line needs to step up. The third line needs to step up because they're just not getting enough production to sustain when the first line struggles. So I mean, and the only defenseman that's putting up points is Morrissey. Pionk was
Right.
hurt, but he's coming back tonight, I guess. So, but even before he got hurt, he wasn't having a great year. So it's Craig Button. I have to say he's probably right when he's talking about this. So
Oh man, I'm not a fan, but
yeah, I sometimes feel the same way, but it's hard to say he's wrong when it comes to this. So
well, I don't want you to say is wrong just
yeah,
because
right.
sometimes we dislike them. Obviously I ask you because I want your honest opinion, which you always give me. So, but 2-5 without Hellebuck and 4 wins and 9 losses in their last 13 with them in total. Well, some of those are with them, some of
Yeah,
those are without them. But man, that's not good. That is not good at all. So,
yeah.
well, Mike, is there anything else you wanted to add to our discussion tonight? I mean, I know we
Well,
covered a lot, but
there wasn't anything until today when the NHL, I don't know if he's the vice commissioner or whatever, Bill Daly, stated that the NHL would not be sending players to the Olympics if they don't get this arena on the go
well, I saw
because
that.
they're behind schedule and the NHL is not going to wait to the very last minute and make a decision. Then they're gonna want to see some results like before the end of this year, so before the end of December, I think, or they're gonna pull the plug on it. And then what do you do? Everybody still gets 2 weeks off. You can't really change the whole schedule to put games in those spots again. So
Well,
I
maybe
think
you can though. Maybe you can.
I I think well the problem maybe, but when all these arenas know that okay we've got no games during these times, they generally fill all those spots with something else. So I don't know what they do.
Well, not only that, but your season would be done a hell of a lot sooner if you did
Well,
that, wouldn't it?
that's the thing, and I think ideally that's what they would want, but I don't know if it's possible, like to make all these, you know, because I mean, as far as like a couple other things to factor in too is, people that bought tickets for these games, if it's someone traveling from out of town and then they move the game, then, then you're screwing the fans over, then the fans are going to be pissed off too. So I don't know. I don't know if they can just go and start moving games around like that. So it'll be
It's a great
interesting.
point. I didn't think of that because I thought, oh yeah, they'll just fill the spots with the games.
Yeah,
I never thought about screwing the fans over. And yeah, that's true.
I
People would be
think
some
the
upset.
whole statement today was more or less to
A threat.
give them a wake up call and
Yeah.
say, get this going, or we're not sending anybody. So this will put um, and I don't know who it is that is in charge of the arena for the Olympics or whatnot, but the higher ups will probably have to do something to step things up to get things moving a little bit quicker to make the NHL happy for this. So
Mike, did you hear that the arena is 3 feet shorter than an official NHL ice surface?
no, did not know that. But
I did
with
this
that being
morning.
said, if it's 3 feet, that's a foot and a half on each side. It's not a huge difference, I don't think. So
Well, the point is, I believe, is that the arena was said that it had to be NHL official size.
yeah,
And then
uh,
here they are skimping on. I know 3 feet doesn't sound like a lot, but it would make a difference.
yeah. Like I said, you factor in it's about a foot and a half each way. So, but I mean, what are you gonna do? I mean, they can't. I don't know. I don't know who draws up those plans or whatnot, but
I couldn't believe it when I heard that this morning, though, that the arena was 3 feet shorter. I'm like, what? Who the hell come up with that? Oh, who do we have here?
oh, that's Nile. Hey, buddy.
Niall wants to be on camera, I guess.
I guess he does. Yeah,
And how old's Niall?
he's 10.
10 years old, and you've had him for 10 years, 9 years,
No, no, we've had him for 3 years.
3 years.
He was one of our what was supposed to be a temporary foster
Uh
into
oh.
into our one of our first foster fail that we ended up adopting.
There you go. Well, he obviously likes you quite a bit, and he likes
Oh
hockey
yeah,
talk, and that's why we're
yeah.
talking hockey. So, all right. Well, we'll leave it there for tonight, Mike, since your dog Niall is greatly and needs some dog attention. I guess some person
I guess
attention.
so.
So,
Yeah, I guess he
so
was
like, share, and
bored.
subscribe, folks. And if you like dogs, definitely subscribe, and we'll talk to you next week. Later.
Later.